party I went to, Diddy party. We went to the little private area behind the, cause he had a house behind his house. Like he had a backyard with his backyard with a fat bed, and then it had like a miniature little whatever.
Chrisean Rock recently rocked the internet when she took to Instagram to attack Yung Miami for selling her to Diddy to be used as a freak-off. People weren't kind to Miami at all and dragged her for dirt because the revelation coincided with Miami being exposed by a victim posing as Jane Doe in the ongoing trial. She claimed that Miami was Diddy's top freakout queen and that she was actually receiving the highest salary of all his side pieces. Jane Doe said that she was only receiving roughly $10,000 per month, but Miami was receiving over $250,000, which was then raised to $500,000. It seems that Diddy boosted Miami's monthly payment to $500,000 when one of Diddy's SA victims, Lil Rod, filed a lawsuit against him. He also accused Yung Miami of being involved in his criminal enterprise. In his original filing, he only discussed what Miami did to him, but he later amended his lawsuit and exposed her for receiving payments of up to $250,000 to engage in multiple crimes, including exporting substances for him across state lines. This is why, in addition to freaking out with him, she was covering up his crimes and providing him with girls, one of whom was Christian. Lil Rod says he put drugs in his drink during a Thanksgiving gathering Diddy asked him to in Miami, and when he was intoxicated and according to court documents, he was essentially powerless to defend himself and commanded Yung Miami to make her relative essay him while he watched and did as he wished. As I mentioned earlier, Lil Rod later amended the lawsuit and added even more incriminating information about Yung Miami. He claimed that Miami's cousin burst into the bathroom while he was inside, where she allegedly began groping him and performing oral acts on him without his consent. Jones claimed that he tried to push her away and left the restroom, only to be followed by Miami's cousin, who then allegedly undressed and tried to straddle him and have sex with him in front of Diddy and others for providing him with girls for his parties. He claimed that Yung Miami was one of the people who received a monthly payment from Diddy to work as his former employees. He continued by attaching a few pictures from that night, showing Miami having a great time with her cousin and Diddy, as if these accusations weren't bad enough. He also claimed that she transported drugs for Diddy whenever he needed them, including his notorious pink, which has been mentioned throughout his trial. In fact, it was among the items the feds seized from his hotel room the day he was arrested, indicating that he was getting ready to have another freak-off that day. But the police said it wasn't under their supervision. The suit stated that Robin Greenhill, the accountant, would make sure that cash payments or wire transfers to former employees Frankie Santella, Moybom Brennan, and others were made in order to convey this pink to Diddy via Diddy's private jet. Additionally, Paul and KK would be in charge of making sure that employees were paid in cash. There were long-running rumors that Diddy was paying Miami up to $500,000 a month. And at one point, they broke up because he cut it down to $250,000. Yung Miami, Jade, and Daphne Joy were paid a monthly fee to work as Mr. Combs's former employees and received payment via wire transfer from Robin Greenhill, which detailed the defendant's ongoing criminal operation, and she refused to accept it. Do you recall the time Miami showed such bravery and told Diddy's side piece that all she had to do was call Diddy and Gina would be on her knees eating her pee? It was giving a lot of information. I'm the mother of this house, and you little girls are under me because why else would she do that so boldly over an argument that was never that serious? People were already suspecting that Miami was doing something very illegal for him to be paying her that much, and they were obviously right.
Put out a tweet a while back and basically was into it with, I guess, one of Diddy's other women.
Mm-hmm.
And she basically said, if I wanted you to eat my cat, Diddy would have had you on your knees by now. Do you think that that was really like her telling on herself before she knew things were going to hit the fan?
No, I think that was her being herself because she's a dumb. Damn.
I think she was just telling the truth because it's almost as rough as Nicki Minaj with females out here. I hear she lace front all the time. Snatching up and throwing them in her nasty twat. Like when I think of the title of her show, I'm like, is that what your victims be saying? Carisha, please?
Oh, man. Damn. Okay.
Please, Carisha, stop, Carisha, please. She likes that. That turns her on. Wild bitch. And her in the sexy red and the Sukianas and all this the saucy Santanas. The whole lot of them. Got say this. I know a Punisher when I see one. I was a Punisher one time in my life. You know, it takes one to know one. And I used to be hard on but these.
When the rumors began to circulate online, Carissa decided to join in as well. She disclosed that Yung Miami attempted to persuade Chrisean to be Diddy's lover during Diddy's freak-offs, saying there was a period when Miami started getting real loot. She was close to Sean and frequently took her out. But she wasn't really sure why until Diddy was implicated. At that point, he began to piece things together and saw that Miami was attempting to become one of Diddy's freak-off chicks.
He was trying to recruit Chrisean. That's what Diddy and what's the girl Carisha was trying to recruit Rock. Remember that when they was heavily trying to get Rock to hang out with them? I think they was trying to recruit her. She got a lot going on. We're gonna talk about it on this podcast. And we're gonna get to the nitty gritty of all the gritty of the nitty. Cause it's necessary. I think them was trying to recruit her. Cause remember they just had her pulling up to everything. Talking about, do you love her? Mm-hmm. Yeah, remember? See what I'm saying? We don't, this podcast gonna be, cause y'all know the mama know everything and everybody business. So we gonna find out on this podcast. We ain't gonna talk no shit about nobody. We ain't gonna mock nobody, but we definitely gonna explore the possibilities that was going on. Cause they kept calling her, remember, pull up to the birthday party. Come over here and dance on Carisha. Remember that? I feel like they was trying to recruit that baby to be in on this. That makes you see what I'm saying? That's why I gotta have a podcast, because I gotta get the on the table. Can't nobody get it on the table but my nosy, okay? Tasha K, and she over there making up. I know we gonna get to the bottom of on this podcast. Tell me if I'm lying. Go on over there and tell me if I'm lying. I'm telling you, they was trying to recruit that baby. They said, let's get her away from him. Mm-hmm. That's what they was doing. We gonna put a couple pounds of that on her and have her fly. They ain't gonna never suspect her.
Damn, that would make so much sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he grabbed him and he said, what did he say? He said, do you love her or she needs love? All she needs is love.
All she needs is love.
Ooh.
People believed Carissa was attempting to manipulate the situation, but after doing their own research, they discovered receipts of what Carissa had been discussing. They also discovered an old video of Chrisean at one of Diddy's parties, where he kept leaning over and kissing her face. Chrisean appeared very uneasy and perplexed, so she attempted to move away without him, but he held her in place. As if this wasn't strange enough. There's also another video from January of this year, when Crone recounted the story of how Diddy had jacked up the executive producer of Daddy's Lemuel Plumber. She claimed that Diddy had invited her and Lemuel to his private room, which was located directly behind his actual home. Apparently, this room was where some private events that people believed to be his freakouts took place. And no phones were permitted there. And Lemuel was not even permitted to bring his security with him. Chrisean claimed that as soon as she and Lemuel entered the room to meet Diddy, Diddy seized him by his collar for underpaying her for being with baddies. When I first heard this, I didn't understand how her being underpaid by Lemuel related to Diddy. But given that Diddy was attempting to recruit Chrisean to join his people, I thought this was just a ploy to give Chrisean the impression that she was safe in his care. Chrisean also mentioned that after that day, she and Lemuel began to have issues, but he began paying her well.
Never forget that motherfucking day, bro. So I set a price. I said 200,000. You said 100. I said 150. I'm not going underneath that. Cause what? I'm about to bring a lot to the table. That little party I went to, Diddy party. We went to the little private area behind the cause he had a house behind his house. Like he had a house, his backyard with a fat bed, and then it had like a miniature little whatever. And then me and Lemmy go upstairs. They tell him that he can't bring his security. He went in like a little with no security, so it's just me and Lemmy. We go up in there. Hold on. We go up in there. We go upstairs. He like, what's up, Diddy? You met Chrisean. You gave her kisses on the cheek. Early on in the party or whatever. We just wanted to follow up. I'm glad that you Sean. And then he grabbed Lemmy by his neck and was like, but do you with her? Like, don't play with her. All she needs is love. Don't play with her. Don't play with her. And I didn't understand that.
Diddy utilized this approach to make Count believe she deserved more and that he was the one who would make it happen for her. His second victim, Jane Doe, whom I previously discussed, also corroborated that this was the exact strategy he used to obtain her. When Diddy was arrested, Jane Doe disclosed that she had been seeing him from 2021 to 2024. If you recall, Yung Miami had also been seeing Diddy from 2022 until he was caught by the FBI. Therefore, she was aware of Jane Doe's identity. The tale of Jane Doe is exactly the same as Cassie's, with the exception that, in contrast to Cassie, Jane acknowledged that she chose to remain with Diddy because he was paying her rent and promised to give her more than $10,000 per month if she did everything he asked of her. She told Diddy repeatedly that she didn't want to do any of it, including the freak-offs. But he simply gaslighted her by reminding her who was paying the bills and saying that if she left, he would stop doing all of that. Then she was back to freaking off. One of the reasons she left him was when she saw photos of him hanging out with Yung Miami, Turks, and Kaz. Apparently, he didn't take her because she wouldn't freak off with him, so he took Miami instead. This caused Miami to get side-eyed because it suggests that she was likely in on the shenanigans and agreed to freak off as long as the money came in. If Miami had freaked off with Diddy, nobody would have cared. WASN single quotes to out here allegedly trying to get innocent girls like Sean to join as well, and they dragged her like this. Someone said that recruiting Rock would have been a mistake because Rock wouldn't keep a secret, and someone else said that they needed to get Lemmy and Natalie next. Yung Miami is doing this for Diddy, and Natalie is doing this for Lemmy. What? Do you think of this? You think they were actually trying to get Chrisean? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.